Jacqueline Wales of the Fearless Factor, and as you know, over the last 2-3 weeks now, you've been getting a fair amount of videos from me, and I've been talking about this program that I'm about to launch, and I'm almost there right now, and I'm so excited because we've been working really hard behind the scenes to make sure that you get all the information that you need in order to get involved in this program. But one of the things that I really wanted to talk to you about today is, very simply, personal development sucks. Why? Because it's kind of like a habit. You either love it or you hate it. Now, if you love the habit, then of course there's many programs that you've been involved with before. You've read many self-help books. You've really thought long and hard about what personal development means to you. It also forces you, personal development forces you to take a look at your stuff. Now, I've been called the human sanitation officer. Why? Because I help people take out the garbage. And let's face it, we all have garbage. So personal development sucks because we gotta look at our stuff. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. We also know that personal development can in fact be a full-time job. You know, we're asked to think about our behavior, we're asked to think about our thinking, we're asked to change on a regular basis. Personal development can also be expensive. I mean, let's face it, who amongst us who is involved in personal development hasn't spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to find the answers for what ails us, how to make our lives better, how to be more confident, how to stop procrastinating, how to manage our time better, how to set goals, how to take the right actions. All of these are part of our personal development. Learning who you are, where you want to go, and of course, what is it that's holding you back? But I say, if you're not involved in personal development, what are the alternatives? So personal development may suck, but the truth is, the alternatives aren't very interesting, are they? Because we stay stuck. We don't have confidence. We don't achieve the things that we want to achieve. And so we're not learning, we're not growing, and I like to say if we're not growing, we're dying. So if you're not learning, you're not growing, you're not achieving, why would you not want to get involved in personal development? So I want to share with you a little story from my book. This is really where I got involved in personal development. And this is an excerpt from my book, When the Crow Sings, which was a semi-autobiographical book about 3 generations of women in my family dealing with the effects of children born outside of marriage, and how it spilled over from generation to generation until one woman had the courage to give her child up for adoption. And that was me. And this was the beginning of my personal development journey. I heard you crying, as if from the bottom of a very deep well. And as I struggled to shake off my sleepy head, I glanced at the clock. It said 2 a.m. Right on time, I murmured. Staggering across the cold floor to the kitchen, I warmed up the bottle from the refrigerator. When I returned, you were in full soprano belt. It was cold in the room, so I wrapped you in a shawl and pulled the bed covers up over my legs. After you had taken half a bottle, you pushed it away and began to cry again. I thought, it must be your diaper, so I changed you, and still you cried. Not again, I said pleadingly. I'm tired. Just go back to sleep. But you had no intention of going back to sleep. The room shrank to the size of a postage stamp as you continued crying. I picked you up and began pacing. The bricks on the walls outside looked awfully close. Shh, I admonished. Shh, please stop. You'll wake up the entire house. I held you tighter against me, bouncing you up and down violently. What do you want? I pleaded, but this only caused you to become even more anxious. I picked up the half-empty bottle, but you spat it out. I put you on my shoulder and patted your back to get the wind out of you. I held you tighter and forced the bottle back into your mouth, and then you vomited. You howled even more intensely. I gritted my teeth, drowning in the maelstrom of my violent temper and your insistent cries. I had to do something, so I slammed you onto the bed, leaving you shrieking and red-faced. Turning away towards the window, I clawed at my face as if I were trying to rub myself out of the picture. Leaning down towards you, I hissed in your small, helpless face, "What do you want from me? What do I have to do?" Sobbing, I turned to the window and the wall and asked, "What am I doing? How could I have been so stupid as to believe I could do this?" Self-pity swarmed like an itch over my whole body, covering me in a depression I could not break out of. I wasn't prepared for the violence that finally took over. The nappy pin was stuck in the cotton cloth and wouldn't go through to the other leg, to the other side. Your legs were working up and down like pedaling a bike as I pushed and pushed, trying to get the pin through. Your cries sucked in every bit of air there was in the room, and my mouth was getting tighter and tighter as I insisted that I would get this to work. "Shut up!" I screamed with a hoarse, whispered voice, pushing the pin through to the other side and stabbing my finger. Suddenly, without warning, I was ready to murder you. Not just the thought, but the actual act of it. I picked you up and slammed you down on the bed, causing your head to bounce off the mattress. I pushed my face inches from yours, and like the girl in the film The Exorcist, I screamed in a contained, deep, guttural voice, "Why? Why are you crying? Don't do it! Don't do it! You hear me?" And I slammed my fist inches away from your head. I picked you up and began shaking you so that your head wobbled back and forth. "I don't want to feed you. I don't want to change you. I've done it and I'm not doing it anymore. You hear me? Do you hear me, you?" I said, spitting on your hysterical face. "I can't do this. I can't be your mother. I don't know how." Sobbing and clutching at your clothes, I threw you back down on the bed again. "I hate you. I hate this mess we're in. I hate it all." You were screaming in fear, and my hysteria promised to annihilate both of us. Kneeling on the floor by the side of the bed, I punched my fists into the mattress and put my face into the covers. "Get it! Get it! Get it!" Just as suddenly as it started, the madness subsided, and I scooped you up, the nappy hanging from your leg as I held you tightly to my chest. "I'm sorry," I sobbed. "I'm really sorry. I just can't do this anymore. I just can't. I'm sorry." As my tears mingled with yours, and the warm rush of urine soaked the front of my nightgown. Sobbing, I held you close, putting your mouth to my empty breasts until you fell asleep in my arms. That was the beginning of my personal development. That was the moment when I decided that things had to change, because it was destroying not just my life, but the lives around me. And so I'm going to be bringing you this program in about a few more days, actually. And I'm calling it the Fearless Factor Life Mastery Program, because what it will give you is mastery over your life. Everything that I've learned over the last 30 years, everything that I have gained in experience, I want to share with you. Because I know what it's like to make changes in your life. I know that personal development sucks. But at the same time, I also know it works. And I'm going to be bringing you something that you can truly get started with. We're going to have weekly webinars, we're going to have Q&A calls, we're going to have a weekly or a monthly teleseminar with an expert guest who will really help you to dive in and find out what it is that's holding you back from creating the life you want. So thank you for joining me on this video. As you can tell, it's been a very emotional one, but it's been a wonderful thing to share it with you. And I look forward to seeing you on my program. And I look forward to sharing more with you in the weeks to come. Thanks for coming.